As of 2024, the iPhone XS will be a 6-year-old device since it was released in September of 2018. So far, I've made a review of the iPhone 11. If you haven't yet, do check it out, link in the description. Then I made a video discussing the iPhone XR and how that could possibly be a better option over the iPhone 11, and ended the video saying this. I'm speaking of smart things to do. I think I would rather get the iPhone XS Max or XS than the iPhone XR or the iPhone 11. But that's another topic for another video. Link in the description as well. So with that being said, let's start off with the cons.
The first downside I found about the iPhone XS and XS Max is the size, with the XS coming at 5.8 inches and the XS Max at 6.5 inches. These sizes to me kind of feel a little bit odd, because if you wanted a small phone on the iPhone XS, you're left with a small phone that felt a little bit too small. And if you wanted a big phone on the iPhone XS Max, you're left with a phone that is really not that big. I think this could be the reason Apple stuck with 6.1 and 6.7 inches for the smaller and bigger size phones. Next is the design. Although this is a much better device than the iPhone X and even the iPhone XR spec wise, I feel like the design feels a little bit outdated, and most people would really confuse this for the iPhone X. The iPhone XR to me looks a little bit better, and this whole design contradiction between the iPhone XS and XS Max could be one of the reasons people would rather go for the iPhone XR and leave the iPhone XS.
There is also a slight possibility that the iPhone XS will be getting iOS 18 when it comes out later this year. And even if iOS 18 does come to the iPhone XS and XS Max, I'm not sure it will be getting all the features. So there's a slight chance that the new Apple Intelligence would be missing in iOS 18 on the XS and XS Max. So have that in mind as well.
Battery health wise, this is another area where you find problems with the iPhone XS and XS Max. As I have mentioned in the other two videos in this series, Apple doesn't manufacture the iPhone XS Max or even the iPhone XS anymore, so getting a brand new device is nearly impossible. That means if you're to get any of these devices, you should be looking at around 70% to 85% battery health. Anything higher than that is just a little bit suspicious. There could be battery replacement, which isn't an entirely bad thing, but the issue is that you don't know how authentic these batteries would be. So it's best to avoid the ones that have anything higher than 85%. Just a piece of my own personal advice.
So honestly, I do feel like the pros is where the iPhone XS and XS Max do shine as a very solid device in 2024.
You can find this on the used market and Amazon for about $170 for the 64 gig base version and $200 for the 256 gig version, which is what I would advise you to get if you do plan on picking this up. The iPhone XS shines in its build quality. Believe it or not, the iPhone XS might be slightly older than the iPhone 11, but it is the better built phone, especially with the stainless steel sides compared to the aluminum sides on the XR and 11. I believe the iPhone XS shines even more than the iPhone XR and the iPhone 11 in its screen resolution and screen quality. This has a better contrast ratio of 1,000,000:1, making the blacks even more black, and the overall colors look vibrant compared to iPhone 11 and iPhone XR with 1,400:1 contrast ratios. A very big difference. This also has this higher screen resolution and higher pixel density, making this display the best out of the three. So if you are looking for the best viewing experience, this is the one. This also has the A12 Bionic chip, the same one found in the iPhone XR, although the iPhone 11 has the newer A13 Bionic chip. At the end of the day, they are all the same specs. Considering the nature of this video, I couldn't really run proper camera test, but just by looking at the specs and some sample photos and videos, it does appear that the iPhone XS and iPhone XR would produce similar quality images and videos, but the iPhone XS does have the extra telephoto camera. The iPhone 11 of course will have better specs and better performance in videos and nighttime photography, since it is the first iPhone to have night mode. But aside from night mode, I don't think the average consumer would notice the difference between the iPhone 11 and the iPhone XR.
Although mentioned as a con, it is a good thing to know that the iPhone XS and XS Max do stand a good chance of getting iOS 18 when it comes out later this year, so I am looking forward to that. The iPhone XS and XS Max do have better storage options, and I mean that in my opinion, better storage options than the iPhone XR and the iPhone 11. 256 gigs to me is the sweet spot. I would definitely recommend that to anyone who is planning on getting this phone in 2024. Did I forget to mention that the iPhone XS and XS Max do come with the iconic 3D Touch as opposed to the boring haptic touch on your iPhones. That's a pro if you ask me. So the final question, is the iPhone XS or XS Max worth getting in 2024? I would say yes, especially if you're trying to decide between the iPhone XR and iPhone 11. It is the better phone of the three, considering its price to value ratio, its build quality, and of course its screen quality. And no, because it's not future proof. I mean that because there is a slight chance that even if it does get iOS 18, it won't be getting iOS 19 for sure. But if you were to pick between the iPhone XS, XS Max, the iPhone XR, and the iPhone 11, I'd actually say you should go for the iPhone XS or XS Max. Although they are the older phones of all three, to be honest, they are the better phones. But that's all I have for you guys in today's video. Which one would you pick if you were to pick one of these three? What are your reasons for picking a particular one? Let me know down in the comments. If you have any questions, do leave them in the comments as well. I'll try to respond as fast as I can. That's all for now. I'll see you in the next video.